I actually believe there is no bad. Bad is always good, and good is always good. Unknown is bad. If patients are trying to call your office and there's something broken in the phone system, imagine the impact that it has to your practice. But fall in love with finding those things out. Welcome to another episode of the Physician Growth Accelerator, a show where we break down your private medical practice systems into vitals, give you the tools to diagnose root cause of what may be restricting your growth, and prescribe what to do about it. I'm your host, Ed Williamson, and I believe that everything we experience is the perfect outcome of our current system. If we want to change a result, we just have to take ownership and tweak the system. Now, I've got maybe a little bit of a confusing question for you. When is bad good? And I'll answer it for you. Bad is good is when it's known. I actually believe there is no bad. Bad is always good, and good is always good. Unknown is bad. Let me explain. Actually, let me put it in a position that you probably witness every day with patients. And this might vary based on the specialty you're in or type of practice. But think about how stressful it is for a patient when there's something going on with them that they don't like and they don't know what it is, and they've seen a specialist or a physician who can't tell them what it is or tell them what it's not. Just think of the last patient that you've experienced an interaction with that's been in that state. That is bad. You can witness in their behavior how bad it is. And it's actually worse than what you witness because that experience actually drives worse behavior with patients. Meaning when they witness other things, it takes them longer to see physicians and healthcare because their brain is already going, it was really uncomfortable last time because no one could help me. No one could tell me what it is. I don't know why I do this. And even though it might be completely unrelated, the brain is just trying to be comfortable today. And if they're in a state of pain or sickness, that brain is operating more on autopilot than if they're in a very healthy state. So you witness it. I know you do. Patient comes in, they're frustrated. I don't know what's going on. No one can tell me. And then if you happen to be the person that says, well, actually, it's this, you instantly witness what that means to that patient. You see it in their body language. It's almost like they lighten, right? Their shoulders go, ah. You see it on their face. Even if the news is not extraordinarily good, the fact that it's known is good. So that's your interaction with patient. What the heck does that have to do with your medical practice? So I started the show with the idea of when is bad good. And when we get bad numbers, we look at something and maybe we missed a target, or maybe we don't have a target, but we just don't like the way things are going. That is so good that you know. You know, it's almost like being able to calibrate because you're in, it's almost like you're in a bumper car and you have two walls on either side of you. And you know you need to head a direction, and maybe the car is not that easy to steer, and you're just kind of bouncing off of a wall every once in a while. It's not too dangerous, and it's just kind of telling you, well, we can get better, but we're generally going in the right direction. That's what bad outcomes tell you. The problem is when things are unknown. Are you a private practice leader dealing with team drama, growth headaches, or just trying to keep your head above water? Introducing the Physician Growth Accelerator membership, a free resource for our podcast listeners like you to get real solutions. Inside, you'll find exclusive materials, free courses, bonus podcast content, and live events, all designed to help your practice grow. It's free for now, so don't wait. Visit physiciangrowthaccelerator.com and click members to join today. So imagine you are just operating your practice, day-to-day business, and you don't know. You don't know if things are good. You don't know if things are bad. You don't know how to know. You don't get any data. And then what you do is maybe you decide, you know what, I want more patients. Let's invest money. Let's either hire someone that's going to market us to primary care. Let's invest in a new website. Let's invest in some advertising, any of those things. And so you're putting all this effort and money. You're like, all right, we're going to climb to the next level. This is awesome, super excited. And you don't know if it did anything. Or you learn it didn't do anything. Everything that you are normally used to, it just stays that way. And you think to yourself, what the heck did I invest this money and time for? We did all this effort. All these fancy people told me how great of an idea this was. And now I'm in the same place I was 6 months ago, except I spent money and time and got my hopes up. And now nothing. That could be frustrating. What happens if you found out that a lot of patients were trying to get in touch with you and they simply couldn't? No one was answering the phone, or they were trying to submit a form on the website and it was broken. Maybe the phone system wasn't working and patients weren't actually getting anywhere. They were just hearing a busy signal. Those feelings, when you find those things out, can feel bad. You feel in the pit of your stomach like, oh my gosh, are you serious? They've been trying to call us and we haven't answered the phone, or they couldn't get through. And those are glorious bad feelings. And what the Physician Growth Accelerator is all about is let's go find all those bad feelings and build the model of it so we can see it piece by piece by piece by piece. And we can look at it and we go, how does this feel? You know, this feels off. Let's go find out why it feels off. It might not be off. It might be off. And once we understand what it is, now you can do something about it. If you have a mid-level saying the wrong thing to a patient, that's going to affect your business. And you don't know unless you know what they're saying. If patients are trying to call your office and there's something broken in the phone system, imagine the impact that it has to your practice. But fall in love with finding those things out. Sometimes our brain is looking for that, hey, let's stay comfortable today feeling, and you don't even go looking. This happens to all of us. Something's off, but it's actually more comfortable to not go look. Let's just keep the course and maybe it'll get better, or maybe I don't know what I'm looking at. And it's our brain playing tricks on us. That is not an evolved level of thinking. That is first order consequence. Today is the only day it exists thinking. I personally don't want to be run that way by my brain. I want my brain to be addicted to finding things that are uncomfortably wrong. Because if I can find joy in uncovering those mistakes, and I'm not wasting my time being angry about what was lost before. I mean, we haven't invented time travel yet, so there's no value in my mind to waste that energy and get super upset about what has been missing for the last week, 2 weeks, month, year, whatever. It happened, okay? Let's learn from it and take those things and move forward. I would say that I'm pretty lucky. Growing up, my father, basically had this idea that he would always talk about, and it was, there's no such thing as making a mistake. You're only learning. The outcome, you could choose to put a value on the outcome, but in reality, any outcome that you learned from was good because that put you in a better spot than you were before. So there were no such thing as mistakes. There are just new ways to learn. And if you can take that idea and think about your practice, almost kind of like take a 30,000-foot look at the business of your practice and think about all the little pieces that happen that have to come together. And what could you measure? How could you know that that was healthy? If you had to grade the process from a patient calling your office and getting to that appointment, how could you grade it on a A to F scale? What would you have to know? And go find those things out. If you had to grade a patient's experience in the office, if you had to grade a patient's outcome after treatment, these things are doable. And when you force yourself to be in this position of how could I put a grade on this, then your brain's going to start calling out, here's how I go figure this out. And just go do it. Because that is the bad that is good. The unknown is the only true bad. If you feel like you have some unknowns and you want help in uncovering what those goods and bads are, always feel free to reach out to the Physician Growth Accelerator team. You can go to physiciangrowthaccelerator.com. Lots of resources there for you. You can even fill out a diagnostic to see if there's anything jumping out at you, like, oh, maybe it's over here. I think it's only 12 questions, takes a couple seconds to fill out. And a lot of people tell us that there's tons of value in understanding where to look first. With that, we'll see you next time on the Physician Growth Accelerator.